Welcome to the Florence BobCAST, your source for news for the school district of Florence County. Here's your host, Parker Johnson.
Hello and welcome to the Florence BobCast. I'm your host, Parker Johnson, bringing you the up and up from the school district of Florence County. This episode is for the month of November 2019.
Important facts you need to know. Here's what's new in the school.
The first quarter has come to a close and we have many students who have achieved a great academic standing. 58% of the middle high school population received honors, high honors, or superior honors. Winter sports practices are now in full swing. Girls and boys basketball both start their seasons away at Niagara. Wrestling will have their first invitational at Oconto. Reminder that there are public hours for the Fab Lab. Every Wednesday from 4 to 7 p.m., the public is welcome to use the vinyl cutter, laser engravers, 3D printers, and CNC router. You can contact Amanda Yadro for more information.
Here's what's going on at the elementary school.
Students at the elementary school recently participated in an activity to spread kindness throughout Florence County. We spoke with Mrs. Becky Wilcox, librarian at the elementary school, along with a couple of our elementary school students to find out more about this interesting initiative. Would you like to explain the Kindness Rock project?
Sure. As part of our PBIS initiative, the group that I was involved in had an idea to use kindness rocks and spread them throughout the communities in Florence County, having students choose a kind message to put on the rock, and then the kindness rocks were placed around every township in Florence County. And with the directions in the newspaper and on TV6 News and on our Facebook page for the people who found them to take the rock and put it on the Facebook page with the hashtag GoFlowCats so that everybody else could see where the rocks are being found and who was finding them and be able to spread kindness that way as well.
Interesting. Who came up with the idea for the project?
Myself, Siobhan Merhalski, Jen Bocek, and Miss Tracy Johnson were involved in the group that came up with this project.
Who all took part in this project?
All of the students, kindergarten through 6th grade at Florence Elementary School. And at Florence Elementary School, we have a community building program that we call Tree Houses here. Every group has a variety of kids from 5-year-old kindergarten all the way through 6th grade that are involved in the groups. And there's about 12 kids in each group that have a teacher assigned to each group as well, and they work together in different projects throughout the year. As part of this project, the kids were put into their treehouse groups, and then we went outside. The kids picked the kindness quote that they would like to put on there, and we used decoupage to put them on, and then they were dried and put out into the community. The treehouse communities are amazing way to build relationships between the kids, kindergarten through 6th grade, and they stay in those same groups throughout their career here at Florence Elementary School and build relationships during that time.
Have you heard of anyone finding them so far?
I've seen several pictures on Facebook with the hashtag of GoFlowCat. Mrs. Chartier's been good about posting ones that she sees posted that don't have the hashtag, and other people have been posting them as well. And students that find them with their families over weekends and in the evenings are very excited to come in and talk about them as well.
I am also joined by some of the elementary school students who worked on this Kindness Rock project. Why don't you go ahead and tell me your names?
I'm Sophie and I'm in 5th grade.
My name is Logan and I'm in 6th grade.
I'm Nevaeh and I'm in 5th grade.
I'm Colt and I'm in 4th grade.
I liked to help people to feel kindness in them for everyone that finds a rock.
Really, I just liked how we just got to do something kind for the public.
I like that whenever we did the project, we could help other people out, and whenever someone finds a rock, they feel like respected and they're being treated with kindness.
Just so people could get out and have fun and try to find the rock, and then so they could feel better.
Thank you all so much for joining me today.
Let's take a look at what's happening at the middle high school.
This month, we interviewed Miss Katie King, the FHS Spanish instructor, Mrs. Erica Land, the FHS art teacher, and 2 students, Audrey Selden and Kira Sullivan, to find out more about a recent trip some of the high school students participated in. Let's give it a listen.
We went to Mexico City for 8 days. We spent the majority of it in Mexico City, but we did go for 2 days out to a smaller town in Puebla called Cholula. So we went in order to see how they celebrate the Day of the Dead.
I personally thought the trip was wonderful. Every day was busy, filled with new and exciting experiences. Some were opportunities that I was already familiar with and excited about seeing for myself, and others were completely unfamiliar and new.
During our tour, we saw most of the main tourist attractions in Mexico City. We went to the Zocalo, we saw the Presidential Palace, the National Cathedral. We went and visited the Virgin of Guadalupe Basilica. We went to Xochimilco and rode on the boats. We went to the Museum of Anthropology. Oh yes, the Blue Casa, the Blue House of Frida Kahlo. And we also went to Teotihuacan and climbed the pyramids. Language is pretty easy. They had to use Spanish when they were ordering in the markets to buy stuff. And a big part of that was them just hearing people speak Spanish at a regular speed and being able to understand some of it. I think they were surprised at how much they did know and were able to use.
Artistically speaking, Mexico is a variety of cultures combined into one. So students were exposed to various forms of architecture through ancient Aztec pyramids, seeing artifacts from those cultures along with French Baroque style, Gothic style, all influences from the Europeans who came to conquer the Aztecs. And then everything in the marketplace, all the handmade crafts that were for sale, everything from ceramics, jewelry, both silver and stone, metal, precious metals, to beadwork and embroidery, and then all of the traditions that are associated with the Day of the Dead. We got to see people dressed in costume, have their faces painted. We saw ofrendas that are built specifically for the 2 to 3 day celebration, and a lot of art associated with the holiday.
I would hope so. I would like to repeat this trip in a couple of years. So there's a new set of students that are able to go. My next trip is to England, Ireland, and Scotland the summer of 2021.
Though I'm not going on that European trip, I would just like to point out that every trip is an art field trip. So I'm sure that when the students go in 2021, they will again experience a lot of artisans and crafts and architecture and fine art on that trip as well.
My favorite part of visiting Mexico City was experiencing the new culture in Mexico, because I've been to small towns in Mexico many times, but it was interesting to see the culture in a big city.
One of my favorite parts of being in Mexico was walking around and seeing the Day of the Dead festivities. It was really cool how they had a bunch of flower arrangements and their offerings and all set up on the streets.
Here's a list of upcoming events that you'll want to know about.
The Christmas in Florence Craft Fair is this Saturday, December 7th. Performances by the UP Dance Academy, the Jazz Band, and caroling from the show choir will be some of the various activities to partake in. There is a half day for the students, December 12th. The elementary school concert is this Friday, December 13th at 1 p.m. in the elementary school gym. Holiday break begins Monday, December 23rd, while classes resume January 2nd. If you'd like to find more events, including the full athletic schedule, visit our website at www.myflorence.org. That wraps it up for this month. Thanks so much for listening to the Florence BobCAST. This episode was produced by me, Parker Johnson. This podcast is a production of the Florence High School Music Department. Join us again for our new episode next month. Until then, this is Parker Johnson, signing off.
That wraps up this month's episode of the Florence BobCAST. For more information about school activities, visit our website, myflorence.org, or the Florence County School District Facebook page. Tune in next month for the next episode of the Florence BobCAST.